A lot of people that get into options on their own first encounter the gambling community of buying lottery ticket calls on meme names. You see someone on Reddit making millions, you then give it a shot yourself. You either get lucky and make some money first, just to blow it away later by thinking you have learnt the game, and you are the smartest trader ever. Or you blow it right away without ever feeling the high. The second path, I would argue, is actually the luckier one. If you are still interested in options after this, you might find about the so-called Theta Gang. You make yourself a diehard enemy of the first group of people and start thinking of yourself as being above everyone else. You are selling overpriced options and someone is stupid enough to be buying them off you. You think to yourself, even with a small account, I might generate enough income by selling options on tech names so I can retire early. Sounds great, right? Hate to break it to you, but there is a catch. Options are far from a way of generating income. There are lots of strategies that are used in this context, some of them being the wheel, covered calls, or poor man covered calls, since you probably don't have enough capital for the first type, cash secured puts, and the list goes on and on. They all share the same problems. I have nothing against selling options as it is an important part of a trader's toolkit, but you just have to realize what the premium you are receiving truly means. Option premium is far from a reward. It should be thought of as compensation for risk that is being transferred to you. If you are selling puts, you are taking on tail risk without having any exposure to the upside. In markets that trend upwards in the long run, like equity, this is often done and mistakenly seen as a riskless way of generating income, while positioning yourself for a long in case the market drops. This sounds great at first, but you are missing one key point. When you are selling the put or doing any of the mentioned strategies, you are capping your upside while leaving your downside fat and hungry. You're trading the possibility of a very bad outcome for a stream of small gains. It feels safe because the bad outcome doesn't visit often, but when it does, you're done for. When you are selling any type of option, you are positioning yourself short volatility. This means that the less movement or expected movement in the market, the better. To think of this in a simplified way, think of the distribution of the VIX. It has a lot of mass centered in the low tens, with occasional spikes that go even above 60. The VIX represents 1-month S&P volatility, but the concept is the same for any instrument. By selling the options, you are short the VIX. You benefit from it being low where it likes to be most of the time. You are receiving lots and lots of small gains, but you are leaving yourself open for the right tail. Vol jumping to 60 in one day. This event might offset any premium you collected so far. Just look at the so-called Vol-mageddon of 2018, where short volatility shops blew up after enjoying years of good returns. The intuition you start off with might make sense at first. You think to yourself, why does a strike far below the market still cost money? There's no way the stock gets there in a month. Easy income. But there is a way price can get there. It's all in the so-called probability distribution, and market returns follow one shaped more like a wide bell with surprisingly fat tails. Even if the stock only has a 2% chance of dropping 20%, a 2% chance is not zero, especially when you repeat the trade every month. A rare event, if it is repeated enough times, becomes an eventual certainty. The premium exists because of the risk. The market isn't stupid, it prices the options probabilistically and without sentiment. It is just like an insurance company pricing insurance, setting premiums so that over a large enough sample the insurance paid is less than the premium received. The same goes for options. One thing you should stick to in your trading is always going from the assumption that options are priced correctly and that your assumptions or model are wrong. This will save you in the long run. The same goes for selling covered calls. The premium you receive is priced that way for a reason. You are being paid for holding a hot potato without having the benefit of it leaving your hand. If I am taking downside exposure on a stock, I might as well get rewarded when it goes up. Sellers often collect lots of tiny wins, then one day face the kind of move that erases months or years of gains. It's the financial version of picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. The pennies feel like income right up until the steamroller arrives. The market does not assign a price because of vibes or celestial movements. It assigns a price based on multiple factors such as implied volatility, probability distributions, cost of hedging, interest rates, demand/supply dynamics, and lots of other nerdy stuff. You aren't outsmarting all of this by simply declaring the risk unlikely. I am not trying to discourage anyone from using option selling strategies. I just see too many newcomers getting caught in disregarding risk without being aware of it. Despite everything, selling options is not inherently bad. It's simply not income. It is taking on risk in exchange for money. It is trying to price insurance in a very competitive market with guys that were gifted an abacus for their first birthday. Meanwhile, you were eating dirt. Once you understand this, you stop selling blindly, You start managing tail risk. You start thinking in probabilities rather than narratives. If you want stable, predictable income, get a job or buy something with a dividend. If you want to sell options, that's great. Just understand the game you're actually playing.